Marketing Edge ONTV is Nigeria's leading initiative in the business of brand management and the management of brand business. It is a 30-minute awesome package that comprises brand news, branding focus, and industry conversation, all in a mix, encompassing thorough and in-depth analysis aimed at promoting the brand idea. My name is Bababumi Agbibi. Welcome to the program.
Marketing Edge ONTV, promoting the brand idea.
We begin with brand news, where we bring you the latest developments around brands and in the field of marketing and advertising in Nigeria and around the world. Uduakabasi Lagos wrapped up 2025 with its close of business party, gathering industry professionals, partners, alumni, and students of master classes, networking and awards recognizing brands and individuals supporting talent development. The high point of the event was a 1-minute silence honoring the late Chief John Uduakabasi, founder and editor-in-chief of Marketing Edge, followed by a posthumous award for his outstanding contribution to advertising media. Provost Ozon Mbanefo praised Ajayi's enduring support for industry growth and education. Marketing experts in Nigeria are forecasting a boost in advertising spend for 2026, driven by economic stabilization, forex recovery, and renewed brand activity. Yinka Adebayo of Omnicom noted rising ad activity in late 2025 and expects brands to invest more next year. Dr. Femi Adelusi of Brand Eye highlighted falling inflation and stronger foreign reserves as key drivers. Soji Adeyinka, CEO of Brand Yard Media, added that government support and technology adoption also promise a favorable environment. Nigeria's beverage market is on a strong growth path, driven by a young population, expanding cities, and rising demand for convenient drinks. According to Statista, bottled water leads consumption, while soft drinks, energy drinks, and ready-to-drink beverages continue to grow. The report affirmed that despite challenges such as sugar taxes, manufacturers are innovating and investors remain optimistic. Analysts say the sector's resilience and large consumer base position it as a key growth driver in Nigeria's consumer economy.
Marketing Edge ONTV, promoting the brand idea.
That was brand news. Next is branding focus after this break.
May every move you make this festive season radiate with joy.
Glow Unlimited.
Marketing Edge ONTV, promoting the brand idea.
Now, brand in focus. Nigeria's fintech sector is reshaping the nation's economy, driving financial inclusion and digital innovation. From less than 30% of adults using non-bank services a decade ago, fintech revenue is surged to over $543 million. The growth was boosted by the 2022 Naira redesign, smartphone adoption, and mobile money platforms. Nigeria now leads Africa in tech investment, attracting nearly 2/3 of $3 billion invested in African startups in 2022. Fintech goes beyond payments, helping small businesses, farmers, and youth access financial services. Experts say the sector faces challenges, including rural connectivity and smartphone access, But with supportive regulation and a young, tech-savvy population, Nigeria's fintech revolution shows no signs of slowing.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the bright idea.
Next is Industry Conversation, where we discuss with industry thought leaders who have distinguished themselves and have made tremendous impact in their chosen field. My guest today is the Creative Director of Flow Creative Solutions, Uduakabasi Akpan. Join us after this break.
Good morning. Today's weather will be sunny with a high of 31 degrees.
Alexa, music please.
Playing workout music.
Striving for mastery? You need speed, precision, and clarity of purpose. They all add up. Talent is not enough. You've got to prove that you're able to take advantage of unlimited opportunities when they come. And to do that, you need plenty of data. Scratch that. You need unlimited data. And there's no better provider of unlimited data
Access granted.
than your all-powerful Glow router.
Whether home or office, enjoy unlimited data on a Glow router. Dial *312#.
You know, I've got unlimited eyes.
Glow Unlimited.
I'm still watching.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the bright idea.
On Industry Conversation today, my guest is the Creative Director of Flow Universal Solutions, Uduakabasi Akpan, also known as UD.
Yeah,
Thanks for joining us.
thanks for having me.
Let's look at the advertising and creative industry. What's your own perspective, your overview, assessment of the industry over the years?
Okay, that's a very broad question if you say over the years. There was a time when it was the best industry to be in, and then all of a sudden we find ourselves in a time, or at a time, where we're wondering exactly why we're still in this industry. At least some people are, not me. But I'm saying that to just build a particular framework of what the industry is facing at the moment. We used to be the most attractive industry, if I may, because it was that attraction that pulled people like me in. While I remember growing up in college days and knowing a couple of people who were in the industry before me, people who I consider my seniors, who are ahead of me, and it was beautiful. I saw the quality of life they were living, I saw the quality of the work they were doing, and I wanted to be part of it. It was very attractive. It was the place to be. Today you talk to the average Gen Z and they don't fancy what we do in the advertising business. And I'm wondering, how did that change? When did it change? And what can we do to fix it? So currently, the industry, in my own opinion, needs help. And I guess that's why we're here, to talk about some of these issues and see how we can help this industry, this great, beautiful, and very lucrative industry.
So you said the industry was the eye candy at a time. So what do you think changed over the years?
I'd say the energy shifted. And there's a lot of factors responsible for that. However, the energy I'm referring to that shifted is the one that pulled people in. The boys in advertising were the coolest boys. They drove the fanciest cars. They had the hottest babes, if I may. They lived a very fly lifestyle. I mean, if you want to look at it from that perspective. And also, they did work that mattered. I mean, you see some campaigns, you know who's responsible for it, and you're excited, you understand. So those things, those ingredients that made it, the place to be, for reasons that a lot of people cannot explain, just started vanishing. And even in terms of how lucrative it is, the people driving even the fanciest cars now, we know who they are. And you look at the average person working in advertising, and sometimes it begs the question, why are you doing it? Because it takes a lot to be in this business. The investment of time, energy, skill set, and everything. And then you cannot buy a Ferrari and drive up and pull up to the concert just like Burna Boy. But the Yahoo boy can do it. And everybody's looking and they're like, okay, Yahoo, advertising. So I guess I'm just trying to illustrate how things have shifted. Yeah.
Okay, now let's look at the industry as a whole. What strengths do you think the industry is underutilizing at this point?
The power of collaboration. One of the things I have come to observe in the Nigerian advertising industry is how agencies are afraid to leverage on each other's strengths. Now you have an agency that is packed with people who are wordsmiths, who are very good at crafting words. And you have another agency that's packed with people who are draftsmen, who can draw to save a nation. And then you have a campaign that maybe has to do something with building a national image, okay? Then you see the agency that is good with words putting that strength forward. You see the agency that is good with arts putting that strength forward. You don't see the marriage. You don't see them come together to say, you know what, why don't we join forces and then do this and then let the accolades come to the nation, to the region, and things like that. So, and that's just, if we're talking of, that's the advertising industry. There is now other creative sectors. You have the film, you have Nollywood, you have creativity has a lot of children. Advertising and marketing communications is just one expression. Nollywood is another expression. The Cartoon Association of Nigeria is another expression. Why is there no forum where all these different units or these different children come together to play? And that's what I mean by the collaboration that is missing.
Now, do you think it's the fear of outshining one another?
I think stars shine brighter when they come together. So there is no outshining, in my own opinion. Because if you're bright and I'm bright, our spark is going to be bigger. It gets seen by a lot more people. It'll have more impact. So, if there was any fear like that, I would tell anyone to throw that away, because much energy creates bigger energy, in my opinion.
Yeah, we'll go on a quick break. When we return, we'll continue our conversation with Uduak. Stay with us.
You dey mind am? Me, when I leave my house for Lagos, come go celebrate with her for Dallas. I reach there now, they take me make here. They go put me for one year corner. Hey, me, I'm a boy. All for no cake globetrotter. Hey, even self the pilot they announced say I dey for the flight now. And you know say one of them say come meet me. Tell me say make her come follow them sit down for cockpit. Make we fly the plane together. Sure. This na the third time today when Glow don serve me. Oh. So you want make me come up for line now? Make you for wrong go buy your Glow Talk Master. Eh?
Free on Glow Talk Master. Talk for 6 minutes and get 6 minutes free. Plus 15 megabytes of data. Free. Dial *606#. 2,000 naira for new customers. 1,000 naira for voice. Plus 1,000 naira for data.
Glow. Marketing Edge on TV. Promoting the bright idea.
What do you think is the most misunderstood indicator of growth in the advertising and creative industry?
The most misunderstood indicator of growth, I think, is creativity.
In what sense?
Now, creativity, as it has been taught to us, was not, we were not taught creativity on a scale that I have come to know. Okay, let me say it this way. The way we were taught creativity, or the way people view creativity, creatives, creative people, currently is like a special, set of people. Maybe people who can draw, or say, oh, that guy is creative. Or people who can sing, or say, oh, that guy is creative. Or people who can paint. But creativity lives in different dimensions. Even in a place we don't consider, such as finance. And I give an example. If a finance officer in, say, a bank is able to harness his creativity in such a way that he manages the company funds to give the company the kind of profit it needs, and is able to do that over and over again, that's a creative person. So, one of the things I would like us to actually imagine is this thing called creativity and how it helps business. Because if you put a creative person in a business environment, he will come up with creative solutions. And that has been overlooked. And I think we need to start paying attention to that.
Do you think creativity is declining in the industry?
I wouldn't say declining. I would say it has. And when you say, okay, let me answer that question this way. And I want to put it in the Nigerian context. Okay, so creativity in the Nigerian space has stagnated and needs to move beyond there. It's how I like to describe it is, I like to say our creativity in this region is malnourished. It needs to be fed. We need to feed it with the right ideologies, the right investments, the right personnel, people who live and breathe this thing called being creative and are willing to give their life, their hearts, their time, their years for it. So those things need to happen for creativity to really, really thrive in this region.
So these days we have a lot of copy and paste.
Copy and paste, okay.
Yes, we have a lot of copy and paste. Many agencies, even we see advertisements that are almost being the same.
Yes.
Now, how can we mitigate this copy and paste and have originality? People thinking out of the box.
Okay, so the copy and paste ideology, some people would say, is caused by the fact that we have the internet. But I refuse to accept that narrative. And the reason why I refuse to accept that narrative is because people have been creative in this industry long before there was this thing called the internet. The David Ogilvies that practiced in the era where you had to cut paper to create your posters, you understand, mix colors, they did it the crafts with their hands. They didn't have the internet, but they got work done. So originality is something that comes from within, comes from a decision that you have made to say, you know what, whatever piece of material I'm going to put out there, I would like it to be uniquely different from whatever is existing. It worries me when I see that people are not willing to spend the time and the energy and the investment to be original. There's a lot of factors that pushes agencies to settle, if I may use that word. But I don't think that's enough reason for you to lose your true essence. You get. Sometimes you are in a situation where the client decides to override your originality and your creativity. But because they're paying you some huge amount of retainer, you fold. The moment you take that stand and you keep taking that stand, you're doing a disservice to yourself, your originality, and you will find yourself in that copy and paste space where whatever comes out of your space is pretty much something we've already seen before. And there's no excitement in that, because you're giving me maybe a TV commercial that I've seen on YouTube from another region, and you copied it word for word, or you're giving me a visual or a campaign idea that I have seen before, or a logo design, which a lot of brands are guilty of, where they just take a logo, they don't do research, they don't know it's already existing, and then they flag it as their own logo or as a rebrand. That's not a good space to be in for any brand or even any agency.
Let's look at regulation. Do you think regulation hampers creativity? Because there might be some arguments that you have to be professional, and then it could pull you back when you're trying to be creative.
You see this regulation conversation there? It's a very deep one. But this is what I would say about regulation, because in the practice of what I do, I have had some encounters, and they have been very interesting. So, based on my observation, what I've come to realize is that there is a gap between the regulators and the practitioners. And this thing called creativity is not fully understood across both parties. So what the practitioners consider as creative, the regulators do not see as creative. And there is that gap. And because that gap exists, it's hard for them to come to terms. An example would be, you as an agency, you've aligned with your client, you've created a particular piece of material, and then you have to kill all of that because a regulator said no. Okay, fine, he said no, that's not a problem, but why did he say no? Can he substantiate the no that he has said? A lot of times that's not the case. The regulator is speaking from a particular perspective, maybe based on the bylaws and the codes that he's been given. But that might not necessarily be why or enough to say, okay, this work should not fly or should not go. So it's a lot of, I think there's a lot of learning and unlearning that needs to happen in the regulatory spaces, so that, and there's a lot of coming together that also needs to happen so that we can actually flow.
How can we find a balance? Would there be a balance? Can a balance be found?
Yes, a balance can be found. A balance can be found if in the regulatory spaces there is real-time communication with the practitioners of advertising and the creative sectors. You understand? And if there is a good handshake where the people who are the practitioners are speaking the same language with the regulators. The regulators know the law, the practitioners know the law. The practitioners know the practice, the regulators also know the practice. So that when there is a meeting point, nobody is speaking over anybody or in a language that nobody understands. That way they'll be able to connect and flow easily.
I've been speaking with the creative director of Flow Universal Solutions, Uduakabasi Akpan. That's the much we can take on this episode. To join us again next time when we'll be having the concluding part of the conversation with him. My name is Bababumi Agbibi.
Marketing Edge on TV, promoting the bright idea.